road to $500,000 begins with Chapter 1. Where tonight, from iRacing's virtual Daytona International Speedway, we say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Race 1 of the 2024 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Network pace car off and in, field in the hands of Nick Ottinger. Let's go racing at Daytona. Good run on the outside as they get through the gears and head to the high banks for the first time. Advantage to the outside. Kwame Scott for a moment, but pretty clean throughout. No major issues. Some three wide in the midfield. Looks like a little bit of instigating going on. Top 10 or so might be the 41 car of Dylan Duvall trying to make it happen. But up front, though, 2x2 as now dropping down the middle, I think, is the 40 of Dylan Alt as well. You're on board with Kerwin there in the middle, and you can see this is where it gets sketchy when there is not an established inside, middle, and top. That staggering is always going to be a position that it makes you uncomfortable, and they are three wide now, top to bottom now. There's not a lot of room.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, and that's a massive wiggle. We got one on the apron there. It's going to merge his way. Yeah, Cody Bias in that 27 car works his way back up onto the racetrack. You saw it. I mean, it's just nothing but stack up on stack up. I mean, Malik Ray, it's no surprise to see him trying to work his way to the front, but unfortunately, he's the victim of circumstance there. Just lots of stacking. That's the product of this type of racing, right? You don't know where the run's going to come.
This is why you're going to have to try to break them up, though. You want to break up this trio of cars that's working so well together, because if they get hooked up, you almost can't pass them.
Yeah.
Near wreck, Ryan Doucette. Ryan tried to get down to the inside of the racetrack and kind of hip check the car that was there. He was desperately trying to get a spot in line. He nearly took out Garrett Lowe, who got shot off to the apron down the super stretch. He's able to blend back in and not lose touch with the draft, but that was another near incident that we get away with. Closing in on halfway home in this first race of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. We'll see if we can get a second look at that near incident. That's been two of them so far that we've gotten away with. Let's watch the 55 car.
Yeah, Falkingham just jumps to the top side there. Doucette was not ready for that move, and now he's stuck in the middle there and just nowhere to go, and squeezes. Oh my goodness. Gets into Garrett Lowe there on the inside. Garrett Lowe, nice save getting over the curbing there of the bus stop. So a bit of chaos there in the middle, but all in all, everybody keeps it together. And another squeeze there.
Couple of team cars lined up. Travis Pastrana's Nitro Circus Sim Racing team for the 99 and the 41 are topside, but here we go. Takers to pit road. First car down and in, the Quick Trip number 20 car for service, and look at them all on pit road. Just as they start to catch some of the lap traffic, they are not going to head down pit road. They're going to continue to draft on by. They will put the 33 car of Taylor Hurst a lap down. It's also going to put Cody Bias a lap down. In theory, I would think, Blake, 4 cars, you talk about they can be more aggressive, but is 4 cars going to be slower than the group of, say, 12 who has already pitted, got out there and into a draft? I mean, the longer they stay out, are they hurting themselves, or is trying to pad the extra fuel you're going to have better for this second stint?
I think 4 is the smallest group that I would want. When you think about, 12 cars should be faster in line, but they're having to lift, they're checking up, they're doing all those things. They're not entirely organized. So I think as long as you can stay organized, somebody didn't know Zach Novak was pitting, and in fact, he wasn't. He just got hit in the back. He was able to save it, but again, with how this cycles out, that's probably the last thing he wanted. He's likely going to lose the group that he was with. Finally, we had this lead pack of cars come down, but you know what? We were talking about they're going to have the benefit. They have less fuel to add than the rest of the field, so they may be able to leapfrog this entire pack if they were able to make up some time there. Probably 3 or 4 other packs that have formed up, and they want these guys to be 2, 3 wide. They want the opportunity to get back in this race at some point. So they kind of need what we're seeing a lot of up here up front to be able to go to 2 or 3 wide, because 3 wide is a pack entirely. They're going to go slower than if they're in 2 lines or just 1.
Is the case. Oh, in big trouble, crashing in turn number 4. The first caution of the night, and it's at least a half a dozen race cars. DeMerchant, who's been so good all night long, is involved. Jimmy Mullis, the 3 car also involved. Dylan Alt, and that one happened very quickly, and all of a sudden, This race is a whole new ball game inside of 30 laps to go as we finally see that first yellow on the night. And for all the missed opportunities and close calls, Ryan, it was only a matter of time. Trying to figure this one out. It started in the middle lane, but there was contact in front of DeMerchant between the 34 and the 54 that kicked it all off.
I was about to say, look at that Love's Ford that's on the bottom of the racetrack. This is really where this entire wreck starts, and I think that's just a move. He may not have known that Falkingham was there in the middle or thought he was a little higher. It looks like he just made a lane change. It wasn't something where he hit the apron or anything. He just wanted to move over to the middle lane, and then, of course, Kwame gets the worst in, or, gets a piece of it. This is on board of him. Olot is the one that got spun. See on board the Letard Esports Sunoco Chevrolet. How about watching this happen in front of you? And somehow, it looks like he's able to avoid all of it. Didn't position yourself probably as well as you could have.
Oh, a huge pinch. Another
man.
one. Time off to the corner. There goes Jordy Lopez into the outside wall. They'll scatter around him, though. No cars spin. Several of them will go through the grass, but this race stays green.
You can see all the separation that is right there. It totally broke apart this pack. Jordy Lopez did a good job just keeping his car up there out of harm's way. Really unfortunate from him, but now there's going to be a huge push for Bobby Z.
Big head of steam, topside. Zelensky pushed by Briar LaPrade. First time we've talked much about those two cars tonight. They'll go to the race lead. Another big run now for the 8 car, Caden Honeycutt. So the bank is open at the front of the field, going for the race win in Daytona, Blake. But let's watch again what happened to Jordy Lopez wrecking from the race lead.
Just talked about drivers making moves, and this is Lopez trying to protect his spot at the front. He gets a bad shove. Leahy gets a bad shove from behind his 45 Toyota, or 23 Toyota rather, and he's just not able to hang on to it. And
yeah, they're doing a great job, but look at all the movement now. Back on about row number 5, that 34 of Bordeaux, high to low. Now back to the middle. Late block there for Garrett Maines to shut the door. He sucks it up. The 34 gives him another shunt, and while they'll survive that for the moment, the outside gets the advantage while they get things figured out. Now the 20 of Tinsley, the 10 of Wilson, they leave the outside. They'll come down to lead the bottom lane, coming to 16 laps to go, but still nobody able to get to those Spire Motorsports Chevys. 1-2 on the outside. Third car in line, the 27 of Bias. He was holding the middle, but the 45 behind him, and Michael Guest went low to work with Tinsley. Tinsley then left Guest to go back upside to work with Zelensky. So nobody in agreement on where the place to be to win this race is. You go on board with the Knights number 27 of Cody Bias. There's a look off in the back. You can see the speed. The inside has got, he's third car topside. It's tough for the 27 to do anything right now. You've got two teammates who have been pretty well working together right in front of you. And then at the bottom's there. Oh, it's not going to work, though. Turned into the outside wall. Goes Bolin. Caution comes out. Colin Keister involved. So is the 12 of Garrett Maines. And a second yellow on the night will take us inside of 10 to go.
Instantaneous reaction here. It's going to start, look back to our former series champ or defending series champ in Steven Wilson, that fourth car in line. He can't see the stack up that all three cars in front of him, Tinsley, Zelensky, and Bolin, all kind of at the same time bounced off of one another. And unfortunately for Wilson, you just can't react to all of that contact instantaneously at once. And it happens in probably the sketchiest part of this racetrack, which is right in the tri-oval. Very easy to get out of shape. You can see the rest of the field trying to scatter around some of the chaos. But yeah, that was a case of three cars stacking at the exact same time. And unfortunately for Wilson, I mean, we know that he knows how to drive these things, but even he can't react quickly enough to that. And Bolin gets the worst end of it. Just those couple of moments of being able to hook up is going to pull the inside lane through as they're wrecking further back in the field. Looks like Garrett Lowe, one of the cars involved.
On the bottom lane, they were too wide, but things just started to get a little bit of that movement up and down, and you'll see the 80 car get turned, and then the green and white car behind him in the 89 Machina Lowe, who goes all the way around right there.
Just a big shove gone wrong there, right? The 89 gets a huge push from that 90 car, and there's nowhere to go, right? Once you have the rear tires lifted off the ground, as you see Keegan Leahy's on board right here. You see that inside lane just stack up, and oh, does he get through it? Yes, he does. Cuts right back down to that apron. Nice job avoiding that one by Keegan Leahy.
Yeah, they looked like they were in sync, but it was really Zelensky just going up at the same time. Tinsley was trying to put the move on him. Inside, right back, the Spire cars are linked up. Malik Ray drafted with Casey Kerwin on the bottom, but the outside trio of Zelensky, Tinsley, and Wilson pulling a big gap on the rest of the cars in their lane. That might hurt them in the center of the corner.
Yeah, it's 3 versus 4 here. 3 on the top, 4 on the bottom. As they got a wreck in turn number 4 off. Oh, man, the 5's around.
In week 1 of the season.
That it is, and I think you're just going to see a little bit of a bump gone wrong. We saw these two cars. Well, guess what? They hit in the clash. They're going to hit here as well. Colin Bowden gets into the back of Tyler Gary, who honestly does a remarkable job in saving it. You could say the same about Zach Novak, who's able to get his car back from under him, but it's enough to trigger the caution flag and have to stack them up and try it once again.
Side lane locked together. Everybody's really working hard, really pushing each other. Zelensky with a big push from Wyatt Tinsley on the top lane, but now it's 3 by 3. Junior cars trying to push their way through. You see Caden Honeycutt giving a big shot to Donovan Strauss.
Outside lines got the speed, though, down the super stretch and into turn number 3. 18 is Zelensky, leads that line, followed by Tinsley, followed by Wilson. The Spire cars on the bottom, aided by the 55. Orion Doucette, third in line, are looking for the white flag this time by topside. The place to be, 2.5 miles to go in Daytona.
We saw that entire top line move to the middle to make it difficult on the bottom cars. The race is official. There's only 3 lined up on the inside, many more cars on the outside. But when does this trio break up as they hit the back straightaway for the final time?
20 cars still pushing, 10 cars still pushing. The inside is wide open. Who makes the move on Bobby Zelensky? They both go at once. Zelensky can't make the block. Tinsley gets underneath. Zelensky gonna lose the draft. Finally gets picked up by Strauss, but it is an inside breakaway, 3 cars strong. Tinsley, Wilson, Ray, contact in the battle for second. To the apron, not gonna happen in time. And Wyatt Tinsley wins the Daytona opener for his first career eNASCAR win.
A complete sweep. He won his heat in the clash. He won the clash, and he has won at Daytona. You could see the elation for him. My pick, Wyatt. Great job, buddy.